All right, so we should be live. And again, for those of you guys who aren't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, it's insiderealestate.com/YouTube. This is a new series that you're jumping onto today. Let me get my slides out and we'll walk through those. But basically, this series is our product updates and feature deep dives series. Of course, the dog barks as soon as I start any webinar. What we're trying to do with this series, some goals. First off, we want to show you guys some updates and kind of keep you looped in on the development, what's going on with KV Core and our other products and services. You know, we've got Core Present out there. We've got a bunch of stuff in the marketplace. So as we're building new things, or even before they're getting built, you might find that myself, Susan, who you can see on the screen, and other members of the product team will come on and share some of the details about that stuff with you. We're going to share some really cool stuff today. We'll also, from time to time, if we don't have anything new to share, maybe we'll go into some existing features and functionality and kind of do a deep dive into something that's existed for a while, but maybe it just give you a nice refresher on that content. And then on these sessions, I don't know that we'll have a lot of time. We probably won't be opening up mics. We have a lot of people on. But as you listen to us talk, we will be saving any chats that go into the chat box. It is being moderated by members of the team. And if you guys have ideas that would help enhance the product, or just strategies that you want to share, you can drop those in the chat box, and we're collecting that information and we'll use it to help influence what gets built, moving forward. So that's the quick introduction. Today, what we're going to talk about is two new playbooks around powering up your sphere. So for those of you who may have seen the last week's webinar about the fall release, we kind of did a big picture look at the things that are coming this fall. And today we're going to drill down a little bit into powering up your sphere. And we've got Xander Laurent, who is a member of the product team, who has played a big role in building this functionality. And Xander's going to help us walk through it today. You'll also see Susan there on camera. Susan is our manager of product communications and will be helping moderate the chats, as well as correcting me when I get functionality wrong, as I always do. So thanks for being here, Susan. The playbooks that we're going to talk about are designed to power up your sphere. The goal here is to help you reduce time to accomplish goals, higher client engagement, get better outcomes, driving more production. These all feel a little abstract right now, but you'll see what we mean by all these and how we accomplish it in the functionality. And I just have a little slide here before we actually jump into these new playbooks to talk big picture about why we want to focus on sphere. And I think for most of you guys watching, I mean, we all know it, working your sphere is a high leverage way to go. We know that something like 50+% of business is referral based. I meant to get the exact stat. If you check out Jay Abraham's YouTube channel, for those who know who he is, there was a webinar he did about a month ago where he talked in depth. And the number, I think, was something like 70% of agents get more than half their business from referrals. So from people we already know. And I think if I think about my real estate practice, if you think about yours, it's probably about right. Like half or more is actually just people sending people to you or people you already know doing repeat transactions. So it goes without saying, focusing on your sphere makes a lot of sense. It's a lot cheaper to engage our existing contacts than it is to go out there and run Facebook and Google ads, as I'm always talking about, to generate new ones, right? It doesn't cost much to do some of the things we're going to talk about in a minute, like posting to Facebook and using some of the, just re-engaging your existing database. And it's fun. We live in kind of a disconnected age, or maybe it is more connected, but most of us are sitting behind these computers all day, and the only real people we're seeing are our family and the people we Zoom with at work. And of course you're out there selling houses and seeing people face to face, but it's really fun to reconnect with old friends, people you went to high school with, people you've worked with in the past and in another life. And the tools we're about to show you will help you do that. So in the process of trying to generate new real estate business, you'll actually be doing something that's good for the soul and fun for life, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. And as you're about to see, KV Core just makes working your sphere easy. It did before these new features, I would argue, pretty simple, but these features really collect some functionality into one nice bucket and make it really good. So Xander, now that I'm done blabbering on, do we want to jump on in here and talk about the first sphere playbook?
Yeah, so the sphere playbooks are kind of a 1-2 type of deal. The first one, you come in and you can set up your sphere, and we give you the tools that you need to put all your contacts into sphere groups or into these actionable groups. So a few examples you can see on the right in that screenshot would be friends and family, coworkers, neighbors, maybe Facebook or social media friends. So you come into the playbook, we give you a few steps to make sure your contacts are into KV Core, so you can use the bulk lead import.
Yep. Sorry to do that to you. And what I was going to say, Xander, why don't I just go into it instead of showing the slide? So now the playbooks, as you guys know, Xander, right? They'll show up right up here.
Yep, and that little list is scrollable, as you can see, but you can also navigate it in the left nav and see all of them. And hopefully in the near future, there will be more than just 3, but starting in about a week or 2, you'll have these sphere ones right in your hands.
Yeah, and I know the promote a listing one, which we launched in spring, has been really popular. And Xander, maybe we take a step back and we explain, like, the idea behind these playbooks is to kind of make things easier and step by step, right?
Yeah, so I think there's a few goals it accomplishes. If you're a new agent, maybe you're getting into KV Core and you look at this screen, you're like, wow, there's a lot here. And so Playbooks helps mitigate that by saying, hey, here are just some actions you can take to be successful in KV Core. You can come in here if you've got a listing, start promoting it. Here's how you start gathering your sphere. And we'll continue to add others. Maybe future ones will be, here's how you get new leads. And then the other thing that it does, which Ryan mentioned earlier, is that if you're already somebody who knows how to use KV Core, knows how to use it well, the playbooks give you the ability to quickly get in there and use it more quickly, so that you don't have to spend all your time bouncing around the platform, but you can see the actions you need to do, the high value things, and jump in there and have a lot of it automated for you.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and jump into the Gather Your Sphere playbook. And I'll let you, Xander, kind of walk me through what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this home screen just gives you a quick overview. The goals, there's 3 goals of the Gather Sphere. The first is to get your contacts into KV Core if you have not already. I expect that most people using this will be able to just mark that step as done. The second is to capture and categorize your sphere. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that means as we walk through step by step, but essentially we'll help you organize your sphere into actionable groups that you can kind of cater your marketing towards.
Hey, Xander, I hate to interrupt, but our chat is starting to blow up. That this isn't released yet. So if you're trying to follow along in KV Core and keep up with Ryan or Xander, you're not going to find it in yours. So the option won't be there for at least another week or 2. So you're not going to see that. Don't worry about trying to follow on.
Yeah, you're getting a sneak peek. We're working out the kinks right now. So as we're going through this, if you see any kinks, feel free to point them out. And hopefully we've already got them on the list and are trying to fix them before we put it into your hands so that you have a clean finished product.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing here. As I said up front, we're trying to kind of give you guys bleeding edge insights into what's coming down the pipe. So keep on going, Xander.
And then, like I said, the third and final step of this playbook is to make sure that you have all the automation set up that KV Core offers to help you nurture your leads without lifting a finger. So if you want to go ahead and open that, we can look at the steps each step.
Yep.
So first one right here is we just give you quick links to be able to quickly import your sphere. You can submit to the lead import team or do it yourself, just like you can in the lead import tool. And then when you're done, you just hit done and move along, and it'll check it off for you.
Okay.
This is capture social media sphere, a lot of what Ryan preaches. It's very similar to the play that exists in the new listing or the promote a listing playbook, where you can quickly make a squeeze page and a landing page to use on social media and then quickly post, and then we'll track all the leads that come through for you. This one doesn't have a link set up because we got to choose an area, but the valuation page is ready to go right away for you.
So this basically gives you a quick links to use to post to social.
Right. So now you've got one set up now, and if you hit post, it should open your Facebook and queue it up for you.
Right. And so the idea here is that the people who I'm friends with on Facebook, they can now engage and become leads in KV Core.
Yeah. And so you're trying to bring in as much of your sphere as you don't already have in as possible. And then the landing page, we actually built a new landing page template for this, which is a home valuation landing page. So if you open that up, you'll see, if you just copy that link, Ryan, and put it in the browser, you'll see the new landing page we have, which is a home valuation landing page for you. So previously, this wasn't an option in the landing page builder, but people can come in, your contacts can come in and get a quick estimate on the value of their home.
Awesome. So a couple of tools that help you kind of get people off social media into your database. There was a quick question about the importing. We went a little quick over that. There's a few videos that explain that in more detail, and there's also an example file that you can use to build out your import file. But the best thing is to probably just let us handle it and just follow the instructions and get the stuff sent over to our team. Okay. So we're capturing from social media. We've got our contacts imported, and next we're going to go to the Sphere groups.
Yeah, so like as we showed on the previous page, there's kind of 3 steps. Those first 2 plays are the step of getting everything into your playbook, and then this is the step of creating the groups. So we queue up a few just generic groups for you: friends and family, coworkers, neighbors, Facebook friends, and you can remove these or you can create new ones. You don't have to use this list. We're just trying to get the juices flowing for you. So yeah,
kids, friends, parents.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. Okay. So that's the step. Yeah.
Yep. And so you're just making all your lists, and you can always come back to this play and come and make as many lists as you want. And then if you hit save and continue,
okay,
it'll take you into a play that enables you to quickly add contacts to each of those lists. So you can come in here and say, oh, one of my friends and family who I know some friends and family I've got in here I want to add. I can either add a new contact, or I can add from the existing, or I can add a whole hashtag. And then we will put adding a save filter in here as well, but it probably won't come right with the release of this, but be a fast follow.
Great. So I can think through and be like, oh, I don't have all my family in here. I don't have all my friends. Well, this is telling me to think about friends and family.
Right. And then once you've done it for friends and family, at the bottom, you'll hit next hashtag, and it'll take you to coworkers, and you just work your way through until you've gone through each hashtag.
So this is a really good exercise, guys, to do. Not if you haven't done it already, and you haven't because you don't have the playbook, but when you first get access to KV Core and other people on your team do, it's probably really worth dedicating a couple hours, a half day, a whole day to really putting some brain power around who are the coworkers, who are the friends and family, and how do I get them captured in the system, and this guides you along that process. So next hashtag. So I worked through all the hashtags, Xander.
Yep. And then once you're done, it'll just say save and continue, and it'll finish up that play for you. And now you've got all your contacts grouped into actionable groups, into your friends and family, your kids' parents, and we just are going to remind you to set up any automation you don't have set up. And for a lot of our users, a lot of you will already have all these toggled on, and you can just hit save and continue, but making sure that you have behavioral automation and birthday messages all turned on. And while this playbook is catered specifically towards Sphere type leads in the CRM, we've opened it up to all lead types just because we know that maybe there are a lot of users who don't have their contacts categorized into our specific types, or maybe do a different method of categorization.
Right. So behavioral automations, this screen that we're looking at here, a lot of you guys might be familiar with it. It's usually found under the marketing tab, I believe. But what we've done is we put it in here just so that you take a look at it and you say, okay, I do want anybody who's a new lead or prospect or in my sphere to have these messages triggered based on these actions, but maybe I don't want my closed people to have that. So this step is about you just thinking through that process. And then if I noticed this morning, if I click save and continue, it'll take me to the birthdays and anniversaries, right?
Right. So part 2 of this, it'll also show you all your contacts in your CRM who have an upcoming birthday or an anniversary. So if you'll click there, you'll see Iron Man has a birthday coming up, and you can send him a nice card and tell him
gotcha
in the city. But so yeah, you come in here and same idea. You can turn on the toggles for the ones you want. You can also swap out your template just like you can in the marketing page of KV Core. Right.
So as long as you're putting the birthdays in the system, you can preset what is it? Emails, texts, right?
Yeah, it'll attempt to send a text, and if there's no text message available, it'll send them an email.
Okay. So automatically to your sphere. So it makes a lot of sense as you're entering contacts to try to get that birthday data in there. And the same thing happens for house anniversaries. So happy anniversary of purchasing your house. Back in the days, Xander, I used to send happy anniversary messages to orphaned real estate transactions. So houses that other people had sold in the tax records. This is like the early 2000s. I'd go and manually look for whoever closed the house like this week, 5 years ago, and send them a message and say, hey, if it's been 5 years, you might want to sell. It was a very legit practice.
I like that.
Yeah. So you guys can just go into your tax records and just download everybody in your tax records and upload them into KV Core all at once. Xander and the product team will love that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trolling you. Don't do that, guys. Don't upload
Bring
data.
it on.
That's not yours.
Let's try it out.
But it is an idea. Yep. Okay, so you can send automated happy anniversary home emails and text. Again, you can change the templates right here as well. Okay, so what do we have next, Xander? Save and continue.
So if you want to, so one other thing just to point out here is you have your quick sheet, which is something we introduced with the initial playbook up top.
Oh yeah.
So you can see if you have your squeeze page and landing page set up, they're here for you to come back to. And if you tweak them, they'll change. And then you also have your results page, which will kind of show you a status update of which of the plays you've actually gone through once, and then it shows you all the leads that you've categorized as sphere leads over on the right hand side. And then if you did post a squeeze page or a landing page, in that social media tab, it'll show you all of your contacts who came through those links.
Because it automatically adds a hashtag. Is that?
Yeah, because of how we track it, yeah, based on the hashtag.
Great. So I know this is the first playbook, but I was saying to somebody, it might have been you, Xander, that you could almost only use this feature in KV Core once it's launched, and kind of, if you consistently revisit this once a month and just work your sphere, and probably do really well. And I think that'll become clearer as we get into the actual, this was the gathering, right? Getting all that set up. And then now we're gonna get into the working part of it. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'll close this out, Xander.
Yep. So if you actually at the end, if you want to go back to that just to showcase it, yep. The last step of the playbook will actually take you right into the preceding playbook. So if you go back, if you toggle on that alerts and automation and click on work your sphere, right there will take you straight into the next step, which is taking all the work that you just did and now giving you the tools that you need to work it. And you can see we kind of categorize, here are all your contacts who have a sphere hashtag. This is a little bit, it doesn't look that great right now, but we're ironing out the kinks on this to make it look a little better. And just kind of gives you a quick overview. So these are all your contacts that you've added one of these hashtags to, and then here are all the ones here are all your sphere status. And this part is restricted to sphere status, but here are all your sphere status contacts who still need to be categorized.
I have some work to do.
Yeah, actually your number is actually 129 or something like that. We're going to fix the number. It's a little off.
Okay. But that's a great, I mean, really, if you're kind of been using KV Core for a while and you want to look for opportunities to have it make you a little more money this year going into 2022, coming right here and looking for those uncategorized sphere leads and taking some action on them makes a ton of sense. Like the dollar per hour you'll make for that exercise is probably through the roof. You're just going to remember people you've forgotten about, right? That's kind of what we're doing here. Okay, so now I can open the playbook.
Yeah, before you go on, I want to address Thomas's question. I think I've seen a couple of similar questions. Okay. He's asked, what about all those that are already in Sphere? When you're setting up your Sphere hashtags in the Gather Sphere play, you can select whatever hashtag you want. So you can choose an existing hashtag that you're already using for your Sphere, and it will pull all the leads in that already have that hashtag. So it makes it real easy for you if you've already gone through and kind of done the legwork for this on your own. So that shouldn't be an issue for you.
Great. Cool. So I continued into the playbook, the work your sphere.
Yeah, and so now we're going to leverage those groups that we made. So in the first play, it gives you the tools you need to fill the gaps in your contact details. So we've identified a list of specific contact details that we think are essential for running this playbook, and that's name, email, phone, address, birthday, anniversary. And so you can click through each contact and add whatever information you can come up with and try to get it all in there. So you click through the contacts there, and then at the bottom, when you're done clicking through the contacts, you can also switch between hashtags.
Just some feedback for you Xander, that I'm seeing. It wasn't immediately intuitive to me. I can see the 2 arrows, but maybe like a next contact thing up here.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, at first my eyes just didn't see the 2 arrows, but now I see them. Yep.
Yeah, good call out. I'll look
at
that.
So we go through all the contacts. So I had 4 in my coworkers. I go through this manual exercise of adding all the info that I need. This is cool. So if it already has it, it doesn't worry about it.
Yep. And if you have contacts that are fully up to date, they won't show in this list, which it explains in the explainer paragraph up top.
Great. So coworkers, and then I go to my next hashtag and I just go through that exercise for each of the hashtags.
Yep. And then once you're done, it says, hey, you're all done. And you can move on to the next play.
Cool. So we're gonna capitalize on sphere opportunities.
Yeah. And so this now that you've filled in the gaps, you should have the information you need to quickly mass add smart campaigns, search alerts, and market reports to any of these leads. So this is one of the plays where it's especially valuable to have it categorized into hashtags, because I may not want to put my friends and family on a drip campaign, but I may be a little bit less concerned about putting people I've generated through social media marketing on a drip campaign. Or I may have a much more tame smart campaign that I put the friends and family on. And then, so you can quickly select a smart campaign that you can add to all these leads.
Okay.
And then it shows you all your contacts who don't have a search alert. And if they have a primary address, we will make a generic search alert for them based off their primary address. All you have to do is create search alert and it will grab it for you. If you click on that blue one contacts, it'll let you select and deselect the contacts that you have if there were more than one. In this case, there's only one.
So this is the smart campaigns is great. The mass assignment of smart campaigns, you can do that now through the smart CRM. You can check off a bunch of people and do a smart campaign. But I don't think mass assigning search alerts has been easy functionality.
Yeah, you can do it with a hashtag, but there's no way to do it just based off of you can do it with a hashtag, but there's no way to just do it this quickly where you just come in and say, hey, I don't know that much about this lead maybe, but I'm just going to give them a generic search alert to keep them top of mind. And that's if you have an address. And then there's another option right below for the leads that you don't have an address for, where you can hit send a generic alert, and we let you pick an area and a listing type and set up a generic search alert for all of them.
Oh, I see. So if I click create search alert up here for the first option, if we know where they live, it'll just send local listings near their house.
Right, exactly.
Very cool. And then right here, we have a little more control to just kind of choose the area and the listing types, and it'll send it out.
We don't know where they live, so we can't, we're letting you make the assumption on what area to put. We didn't want to assume for you.
Great. Thanks for the feedback, everybody. I am so happy with my little scroller on the mouse, and I'm sorry for those of you who that makes seasick. That's a little bit of my jitters. So thanks I'll try to slow that down. So Xander, next we have market reports.
Yeah, and this feature works almost identical to the search alert feature. If we have an area, if we have your address, we'll just make a market report for your city. And if we don't have your address, we'll leave it up to the agent to pick a city or an area for the market report.
So to me, this feels like KV Core is really helping you kind of fill in the gaps in your follow-up with your sphere. It's kind of making it dead simple so that nothing's falling through the cracks. I'm thinking in my head, I need a monthly recurring appointment with myself to go through the sphere playbooks just to make sure that anything's happened in the last month isn't falling through the cracks. But this is a great exercise. So next, I can go to the next hashtag and I'll do that, the search alerts, campaigns, and market reports for each hashtag. And then once that's done, I'll go to the reach out sphere contact step, right?
Yep. And this play, all your leads will usually be checked. But this play will just show you, hey, of your friends and family, here are the 3 people you've never talked to or haven't talked to in the last 90 days. And you can just quickly reach out to them or touch base with them and just remind them, hey, I don't know if you have any questions about the current market, but just wanted to let you know I'm a real estate agent and would love to field any questions you've got. So you can quickly send one of these canned messages we've provided, or you can send your own or drop a voicemail, send a video, a core video.
Yeah, this is, I don't know if you guys, of everybody watching, if you've really had time to play with core video, but this is super powerful. Just think about, the closing you had 8 months ago. You forgot about the person, because you're busy. You come in here, you're working the sphere thing, or it's friends and family, and you can click the send video button, record right on the screen here, and just send something really personal. I think I have core video enabled. I can just show you what that looks like maybe here. So yeah, I can just open the recorder. It's not going to do it because I'm live on camera on Zoom, but you can see right in line, I can record something really personal and get it sent out really quickly. So, and the drop voicemail is it bypasses the cell phone, right? It goes right into the inbox, the voicemail box.
Yep, exactly.
So same thing, you'll just kind of do this for each hashtag, and then we'll go to the next step.
So this is similar to creating actionable groups, but this is catered around life events. So we give you a few templates that you can work off of, a few suggestions. Who do you know who's recently married? And you can add any context to. And these are meant to be events in your contacts' lives that are high value for potential real estate transaction. You know, if you're recently married, you may be thinking about purchasing a new home. So we queue up 4 that you can use just off the back, and then at the end you can create your own custom lists.
Yeah, this is great. My cousin's getting married next week, so I got to get him in here. But it's one of those things that you never think of. So it's kind of a memory jogger for your sphere, right?
Right. And then we expect that, like Ryan said, you'll do this periodically. So at the bottom, you can clear the list out if you want to just start over. Don't hit that though, because we want to see it for the next one.
Okay. So now I go to the next arrow here.
Yeah, go all the way to number 5. So who do you know who's recently had a baby? Who do you know who's changed jobs? Who do you know who's recently divorced? And then a custom life event, so you can create anything that comes to mind for you.
Great.
Who do you know who recently retired? Something like that.
Just graduated college, stuff like that. Cool. So I saved the list.
Yep, and then you got an extra list in there that you can use. And then the next play leverages these lists. So if you come to the next play, it shows you your lists that have contacts in it. And so here are your 4 contacts who are recently married. You can send them a core video or drop them a voicemail, or you can hit that call using dialer button, which will send a push notification to your mobile app, your KV Core mobile app, and queue up a dialer list that you can use in the mobile dialer to quickly run through calling each of these leads. And if you don't have the if you don't have the KV Core app, this button will actually be disabled, and the playbook will prompt you to use that download app button in the top right to grab the mobile app for yourself.
Yeah, it worked great. It's right here on my phone. Came right away. So cool. So now we're gonna dial. Now dialing, as we see here, you can call using the dialer, but you can also send that video. You can drop the voicemail, or just shoot them a note if you want to, right?
Yep.
Through KV Core. Great. So those are promotion plays, and then we're going to go now to the stay top of mind.
Yeah, and these are pretty generic. We're just reminding you can always send out a newsletter, and this is just the scheduled mass email feature embedded into the play. So if you want to just choose your own template, come in here, pick who you want it to send to, and send it out, schedule for when you want to send it out.
Great. And then we have our post to social media.
Yep, which is the same play that we've included in both the other 2 playbooks, just reminding you to continue to build your social media presence and leverage the contacts that you have there.
Gotcha. Somebody's asking, is this promote a listing Playboy?
No, playbook. I added that as I was testing, but when you come to this page, there won't be a template selected, but you could pick anything. Like if Ryan were to exit out of that and choose the Happy Halloween template, it would show up below. I guess it's just called Halloween something.
Yeah.
There we go. It'll show up right below, and then you can schedule that to go out on Halloween.
Perfect. And you can also send it core video.
Right. Yeah, you can leverage core video.
Great. And then again, we have our playbook results.
Yeah, and this one's a little more robust. It'll tell you, of each of the plays, how many contacts do you still have need to work on, and that you can go through each play and look at whether or not they're complete. So
yeah, this is robust. You can it kind of gives you a different view of the whole thing, but it's like a top down, right? Instead of going through the wizard. Yeah.
And then at the bottom left, you'll see that there's a link to all your Sphere contacts who don't have a Sphere hashtag right now. It'll take you straight to the Smart CRM. I believe this is being tweaked to be fully operational right now, but it looks like it works.
Great. Okay. And then our quick sheet gives us the landing page and the squeeze page again. So I like we've kept it kind of consistent because basically all the playbooks will have this similar look and feel. You'll be able to see all your results. You'll be able to get the quick sheet stuff. And then the play portion is this wizard, which we're calling the plays.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that's the demo, right, Xander?
Yep, that's it. Those are the playbooks, and hopefully they'll drive a lot of value and give you the tools you need to quickly nurture your sphere so you can kind of leverage leverage those contacts who are in your sphere of influence and get more deals.
Yeah. So now the fun part, one of the things we want to accomplish with this weekly series, this is, again, the first episode in the series. It'll be Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, every week on Wednesday. So we'll generally be showing you some new functionality, or we'll be diving deep into something old that's been there. But the other thing we'd like to do is listen to your thoughts and comments. So I know a lot of you guys have been chatting in. If you have any ideas for how what Xander and I just showed you could be improved or enhanced or anything like that, definitely chat it in. If you have any other questions related to KV Core, we are on here, so I have a little more time. I think Susan does. We can answer any other questions you might have. This will be launched, as Susan's saying, in the next 2 weeks or so. Xander, you're just really just QAing and getting the final bugs worked out, right?
Yeah, we want to make sure that when we put it into your hands, it's flawless, as flawless as can be. So we're in that, everything's built, and we're just going through it over and over again and trying to think through everything to make sure we have it in a workable way. Yep.
A few questions on the recording. Again, I'm actually live streaming this to YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube. I know that I personally talk a little fast for some people sometimes, or that, when we're going over a feature like this, there's a lot going on and there's, sometimes it feels like we're moving too fast. Just know that you can always go to YouTube and you can click the little gear down at the bottom right of the YouTube player and slow us down or speed us up on a replay. I think during the webinars, we're generally just going to move at a pace that's steady and powers along, but you will always have those replays to kind of slow us down. So good question from Glenda. How will this work with MailChimp or Constant Contact newsletters? I think I'll just take that one. I think most of this functionality is designed to let you send things through directly through KV Core. That said, if we want to get a little more advanced and geeky about it, you have the ability with smart campaigns in KV Core to trigger zaps and push info out to those third-party sources, but it's a little bit outside of the scope of the session. Just know that it is possible. Susan, am I missing any questions? Maybe I'll let you, because I know you've been looking at these in real time.
There's been a few that just kind of ran through when 5 people put them together. I'm going back to see if there's any. The overall has been, where can they find the recording, and is there an extra cost, and when will it come out?
Right, no extra cost. Go ahead.
Yeah. Unless you unless you don't have core video and core voicemail and you want to use those would be the only possible costs there.
Yeah. Yep. There was a great question about adding LinkedIn as a squeeze option, as a share option.
Yeah, well, you could potentially make that happen. Probably not for the launch, but it's something we could potentially do as a following thing.
Yeah, that's actually, I've done that. It's pretty easy, Xander. And LinkedIn is one I've been talking about more, where it's growing. That thing is growing. It's somewhere. It's a channel we should all be looking at for sure.
Cool. Yeah, that's helpful feedback.
Let's see. So yeah, recordings. Can our web be connected directly to our MLS? I might not be understanding that question, Laura, but yeah, I mean, your websites are connected via the IDX feed to the MLS.
To Sharon's question of, is there a way we can work from the spreadsheet view? So she's asking, is there a way we can show the CRM when we're adding the contacts to the Sphere hashtags? It's possible that we'll go that direction. I think that it makes things a little bit more complicated to try to show the whole CRM in that small frame view. But if you go to your CRM and you know the hashtags you just created, you can add the hashtags from the CRM view instead of from within the playbooks, and it'll have the same effect. So if you created friends and family as a hashtag and you don't want to use the playbook, but you don't want to use the Gather Sphere playbook to set it all up, you could just come in here, pick the ones you want, hit add hashtag, and they'll show right up in the playbook.
Yeah, and then you can work that hashtag from the playbook.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Cool, good question though. Can the market report playbook landing page be used in smart campaigns without having to recreate it? Yeah, I think right now, the way that you build those links, they're not built from within the smart campaign. I think maybe what you're asking for, Rich, is like a merge tag, possibly. That's an interesting idea, Xander.
We do have the squeeze page history now, where you can see any squeeze page you make is stored in the history, and you can copy and reuse it. And we have a landing page history that is well on its way. That should get into your hands in the very near future. So I don't know if that solves what you're looking for there, but that this functionality does exist.
I keep forgetting this is here because I keep rebuilding the same ones over and over. So yeah, this is great, guys. You can see this. Now I'm going to ask next, Xander, just to make you busier. I want to see my conversion rates, like clicks and leads and everything. But
yeah, that's on the list for sure.
Yeah.
On the list.
Cool. Robert's asking if contacts and leads can be put on multiple campaigns. Yes. Right.
Yeah. Not from the playbook, but you can do it in the CRM.
Yeah. So if you're in the contact record, you can do that. Are you able to click into the contact record, Xander, from the playbook directly?
I think it depends on which part of the playbook you're looking at.
Okay.
But in some places you can.
Yeah. So
like in the results page.
Right. So if you feel the need to do that, it should be easy enough to kind of click into that contact and add another campaign. I'll show everybody just how to add campaigns. It might seem kind of basic for a lot of people, but I know I've gotten this question a fair amount. You can come into the contact record and just come down to the right side where it says active campaigns and add those here.
And this is one of the leads that actually we used on this demo to add a property alert, and you can see right above this campaign, that's the property alert that was added from the WorkSphere playbook.
Wonderful, right here, right?
Yep.
So you can add multiple here. Another tip, guys, I see a lot of people forgetting to remove campaigns once you've had interactions. So definitely when you're working a contact record, if you're in conversation and they're on basically the default campaign or whatever your new lead campaign is, definitely pay attention to this right side and do an assessment of that before you close out the contact record. But it's easy to add multiple or remove multiple from right here.
To Ivy's question, if you have someone in the playbook who you're also doing something in the CRM, is there something in place so you don't duplicate work on the same contact? Yes. If you've added the details to the contact in the CRM, then the playbook will no longer prompt you to add those same details to the contact. So if now that this contact has a search alert, if you go back to the capitalize on opportunities play, you won't see them as a lead available to add a search alert to. So that we do have some safeguards in place to make sure you're not doing redundant work.
Great. Craig's asking, is there campaign funnel functionality? I might not be understanding the spirit of that question. The campaigns do have a lot of marketing automation built in where you can do a certain amount of logic. And I have found that I've used Infusionsoft, all the advanced marketing automation platform out there. Most of the stuff I can do in those systems can be accomplished with KV Core. So if you have a specific thing and we can probably figure out the workaround. Great questions, guys. Can a response, I see. So Craig's question is, can a response to a, can a response to a campaign message trigger another campaign and turn the old one off?
Not with the existing functionality, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. So it kind of can. I think I might have muted there, right?
Oh, I guess it can if you use the behavioral automation to turn them to an active lead.
Yeah, that's one way. The other way is
he's
through
talking
hashtags.
About you send out a message, they send back saying, yeah, I'm looking to buy in the next 6 months. Can it kick off a specific campaign that's about a 6-month buyer? That's how I read that question. Yeah,
that particular example probably not, right? It's not baked in yet. But as Xander was,
unless your contact is a sphere or a new lead, in which case, if you have behavioral automation turned up in the top right there, when they get the first response, it will convert them and change them over to an active lead, in which case your new campaign would apply.
Yeah, and I rely heavily on this feature. I think it's awesome. Another great thing about this feature is it'll show you at a glance how a lead source is performing. Because if you have this set up right, it'll tell you what percentage of people are actually replying to your initial campaign message. Not to go on too much of a tangent, but what I'm referring to is if I come into business analytics here and I look at the source performance, and I'll just take my Facebook leads, for example. I gotta set the dates here. Oh, and I'm not really in a relevant account. My bad. But basically, what I would see here, if I was looking at the main account for this brokerage, we'd see something like 1,000 leads from Facebook, and we'd see a 30% active lead ratio, which basically means that behavioral alert, whenever those people are replying to my texts, they're being transferred to active lead. And this screen that I'm on now gives you a quick glance at how well those traffic sources and the automations are working. I just went on a geek tangent, didn't I?
It actually segues nice because Abner's been asking if we can make our text codes so that we can link it to either a buyer or a seller. Because right now, if I make a text code, it's going to come in as buyer, right? No matter who it is.
If the lead comes in.
If the lead comes in, right? If they come in through the text, they're going to show up that way.
Yeah, that's a great request.
Yeah. You got that one?
Yeah, I got it noted. I can't promise any kind of time frame on anything, but that's a good one.
Yeah. So what we're referring to, everybody watching, is, we've got our custom text codes. If I add a new code, I'm just looking at an existing one here, my home value report code, this lead will come into the system as a buyer, right? Even though it's a seller. Is
Right.
that's what we're saying.
So we would add a field here that says make all contacts buyer or seller or agent, or be able to select any of the different contact types.
Yeah. By the way, this one works great, guys. You can just have somebody text home value report, but don't really send them anything. Just saying, hey, thanks for requesting the report. What's the address? And then they reply back with the address, and then you can go send them a core present. Something. Cool. This is fun, Xander.
Yeah, this is fun.
You might be earning yourself a weekly spot on a webinar.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Invite me every week.
Oh, can we talk about, this is a good one we could talk about. When will analytics showing open email from campaigns and market reports or listing alerts? Do you want to talk about the iOS messing everybody up?
Yeah, there are some complications with, iOS allows people to opt out of this, and some providers are automatically reading emails. And so we can continue to flesh this feature out, but because of things that other software providers are doing, it makes the numbers a little bit inaccurate. And so we're addressing challenges there and trying to figure out what path forward to move with it.
Yeah, we can look like on the dashboard, guys, you can see email events, but it's hard to really rely on it, basically.
If somebody has Gmail or a Microsoft account, or if they use an iPhone, it's not going to be accurate, right?
Right, depending on how they have their settings set up. But yeah, largely, it's not, with recent changes in the industry, it's not the easiest thing to have an accurate number on.
It feeds you false opens and clicks, right? Whereas one workaround would be that you send out your email and make sure that you have a landing page or a squeeze page link in it. So then when they register or when they click on that link, you've got their information. Yeah. So you're going based on a real click being open or a real link being open rather than just the email.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can use Google Analytics too to do that. Interesting. If you build a squeeze link, for example, I did a video this morning about building retargeting lists for Facebook and using an identifier in the URL. So when you're sending your email, you could set the hashtag to be something, and then you can look in Google Analytics for any time that hashtag shows up in a URL. If you really want to track the effectiveness of an email and have, the click-through rate. Was that? Did I clearly explain that, or was that a little abstract?
Might need a webinar on that.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, if you want to track, guys, really track the results of your email campaigns. Google Analytics plus specific URLs that you build for that email campaign are probably the trick. My quick thought on that would be it's probably not worth the effort in most cases for what it's going to make you. You're better off just sending good content. Put the effort into sending good content that people will engage with. Yeah.
Kirsten, to your question about making KV Core more compatible with Safari, it should be compatible with Safari. And if you see things that aren't compatible, please submit them to the support team and we'll fix them as bugs.
Yeah.
Craig asked for a brief explanation of the Office Smart Number. I don't know if you have specific questions, Craig, but yeah, we can. Oh,
and it looks like he's asking how the Office Smart Number interacts with the agent text code. Is that right, Craig?
Yep, that's what he wrote in there. You got it.
Yeah. So it'll be if you come in and create a text code on the Office Smart Number, as long as that text code is unique, which we don't let you create a duplicate text code. Like if Ryan were to come in here and try to create a text code for Ryan, it wouldn't let him create another one. Then all the leads will be routed to you because we tie that custom text code to your user ID and make sure that every lead that texts the text code comes straight to you, even if you use a smart number.
Yeah, the issue is if somebody calls the text code.
Yeah, that's a good point. If somebody calls the text code, then it may round robin through leads.
Yeah, that's where if you're going to use the text code heavily, definitely if you're using it on sign riders, you're probably going to want to have your own smart number so that you know on that sign rider that call's coming to you. But for the cost of the smart number, the amount of leads that you'll generate, and keep in mind, these are all leads with a real cell number because they're texting you. It's really worth it, that investment if you are actively using a smart number. So we
And to your question, Craig, if you wouldn't be able to put your own cell phone number in there because then we would have no way of tracking it. It does require a smart number, which is why we suggest having a personal smart number if you're going to use it heavily.
Yeah. The smart number add-on is $27 a month. I think some org, Susan, the pricing might be different depending on your brokerage.
Yeah, I think there might be a couple of.
Okay. But in the marketplace, there is you can go look at the tile if you just type smart number in here.
Do you want to just show the marketplace real quick? Because there's been a couple of questions just recently of where's the marketplace just in general?
Sure. Yep. So I'm clicking down here on the left in the navigation, and then you'll see the main menu. When we come in, I'm trying to unfilter there we go. So you'll kind of see everything listed here, but we have it separated by category. This is new too. You can manage your subscriptions. So I believe I haven't clicked around this much, but you can actually manage those subscriptions, do cancellations, sign into Property Boost and see all your boosts and things like that. And then these categories here will take you through, done for you lead generation options, the add-ons like that we've mentioned, like the smart number add-on. I believe the core voicemail drop and core video, which we've mentioned on this webinar, are in here too. And then, scroll over. We do have some coaching options as well, and other add-ons.
Also, I'm going to plug myself. If you ever have specific features, not that you have bugs with, but you want to suggest improvements to, I am more than open to talking to individual users about feedback on specific features. So you just find me in the Facebook page and I'll schedule something with you.
Yeah, so the Facebook group is insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. And I guess people could tag you, right, Xander?
Yeah, they should be able to.
Yeah.
Or they just ask, and Annalisa monitors that really well, and she'll send me your way.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I've been using the new playbook, and I'd really like to give some feedback. I'm Xander in there. Yeah.
You're impossible to find. Your name. Hey, that's Xander.
Abner had one more feature request to add scheduling on communication for campaigns.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. You can schedule all your actions on your campaign, so I must be misunderstanding.
I'm guessing that they're talking about having it show up on their calendar. So if I have a date that I want, are you asking if you can schedule it based on dates? Because you can do based on dates now.
Yeah. So in the last 6 months, you can we've added date-based campaigns where you can come in and instead of choosing one of the traditional triggers, you choose specific date occurs, the type of date, and then when in relation to that date you want it to start. If you have it run annually, it will run every month. Yeah, so you could do it for holidays because if you chose a custom date and you did December 25th, then that would be for a holiday.
Yeah, hadn't thought of that. So,
and then if you hit run annually, it'll go every year.
Now would be the time to do it. You set up now for January 1st, you set up a campaign that's 2022 holidays or whatever, but it's a whole year of it. And you kick the campaign off on January 1st and you have everybody.
Yep.
You have every holiday that you want to add to. You can add everybody to that. And then.
And what's great about these campaigns is that they aren't selectable in the LDM or in the contact details page, but they will add automatically to every contact that matches. So even if the date-based campaign is set to send every Christmas, if I add a lead on June 4th, that lead's going to get the date-based campaign so that next Christmas you don't even have to think about it, they'll get it.
Yeah. And it gets really fun when you start to think about some of the actions that you can put into campaigns, such as leaving a voicemail, wishing them a happy new year.
Yeah, you could use the holiday templates that we have in place as campaign actions to Craig's question.
Yeah.
One last one up there was Arnold asked if we can change the app to be landscape instead of just portrait.
That is a common request, and it's on. It's especially, yeah, it's common because people use their iPads and then they turn it sideways and use the keyboard. It's something we want to do. It's a very big undertaking, and I'm not sure time frame wise when it will get done, but it's something we want to do.
Yeah. Now if you viewed the web version of KV Core on your iPad, it'll probably
the browser will. That's what we recommend now, because an iPad's big enough to use the web version, and you can use your keyboard there, and then you even have a little more functionality than the app provides.
Yeah, it's one of those things we'd like to do, but for the amount of work, it's hard for us to promise anything quick on that, right?
Yeah.
Just considering all the other things that are kind of on the plate. Definitely agree, Arnold. Yeah, we understand why you would want to use the app. Yep.
Yeah. One day you'll have it, Arnold. It's just I can't tell you that it'll be next month. It might be a little while before we get to it.
So Abner's point, do you have to create a campaign for each holiday? You could create one for each holiday, or you can create one that's, create one that's all US holidays, one that's all Canada holidays, one that's all, Christian holidays or federal holidays, or all your Jewish friends. Make sure you get all of those out. You could set up all of those different campaigns and put all the holidays for the year. And as long as you kick those off with the starting one and add it, then you don't need to create one campaign per holiday.
Got it. There was a question about the actual templates that go within the campaigns. If you click on templates, add email. Oh, this is where you can create it. Where do we choose the existing?
Go back to your templates tab.
You want to go to the smart campaign. We're gonna solve this usability issue too in the near future. Close this.
Please. That's my number one feature request. You know that. I tell you every day.
If you close this modal and choose an existing campaign, one of your ones.
Right.
That's a company one. You'll want a user one that you can edit. So if you choose a user one up at the top, and then hit add action, then you can choose a email and choose whatever template you want. So if you want to choose the holiday one right here, and if you don't have Dashlane, it's a lot less frustrating.
Yes, I usually remember to close Dashlane down, but so where's my Xmas?
I think that one's a holiday one. Yeah.
So if I do holiday, that's probably what you guys want to do, is just choose holiday.
Yeah, and if you show this on a date-based campaign, I believe you can schedule the action for a specific day, but
you can't do it here. That's why I'm saying, like, you set it up for the first part, and then you set it that, on the however many days from the start of the campaign. So that's definitely something we could look at.
Yeah, you could have a holidays campaign, and you'd say trigger that on January 1st, and you'd say, 360 days later, send a Christmas card.
It would be a little tricky to set up. Almost easier to just set up one for each holiday, in my opinion. Yeah,
you could go either way, or just remember to go send a mass email every holiday. That's the hack. You just go to marketing, all marketing, and you just schedule You could actually schedule your holiday emails all at once in here, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could just come in here and schedule it for way out in the future.
Yeah.
The only thing that campaigns get you that the holidays doesn't is you have all your other integrations. Like, this is only emails, but with a campaign, you can send out, you can set tasks for yourself, send out webhooks, everything that's involved there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great, guys. Darlene, what did you want to see step by step? Probably the campaign stuff. So good question from Rich. He'd like to be able to add an email to the agent for the call that would contain a script for them to use. That's interesting. When the call pops up in the agent's task list, right? It would give a script, I think. So if I if I go to my dashboard and I go to calls, then it would be nice if somewhere in this experience I had a script, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That shouldn't be too hard to allow an insert from the account owner of the scripts, right? Or just a link, like allow the insert of a link, Xander, to all the scripts that the company has.
Yeah, there's something there for sure.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, Rich. Not sure what I would say to Iron Man. I do need a script.
I was trying to make leads that you wouldn't accidentally do stuff with.
Yeah. Cool. I'm just looking over on the right for any more questions.
They want us to go back to holidays. There's a few people have said go back to the holidays and the date-based campaigns.
Okay. So let's do date-based campaigns. I'll go to Smart Campaigns. And the way that you set up that date trigger is you click Add a Campaign. And then the rule for when you start it, you're going to choose specific date occurs. And then you would choose the specific date based on that holiday's date.
So on this one, if you wanted to do like what I was saying, sorry, I'm going to stop reading the chat. What I was saying is you could start it on January 1st. And then when you go in and start adding your actions, you could build off of that, because it does ask how many days or how many hours or on what day do you want to send this message, right? Just like all the rest of them, day 1, send this, day 2, send this. So if I set this as December 24th and I want to send everybody a Christmas Eve and then December 25th, I would put inside the next campaign screen where you add your actions. Set this one up as December 25th or 4th.
Okay. You seeing this, Xander? This is probably it's probably because I had my screen too big. Never mind. I thought it was a UI thing. It was a me thing.
So if I set that for, I want to send people a Christmas Eve and a Christmas Day, I set this to December 24th.
Right.
And this is just so we can do a quick example.
Yep.
And then we'll go to whoever you're sending that to.
Birthday campaign.
And then when you go in to add actions now to the birthday campaign, it'll say, do you want it on day 1 or day 2?
Okay.
So I'm going to add an email to send it.
I'll choose holiday.
And then I think, where's the next one? Run on start date, run on specific date. So I can tell it here, I want to send this one on the 24th and then the other one on the 25th.
Okay, I see. So the start date is 12/24.
Right. So do I want to start it on 12/24? Nope. I actually want to start it whatever day.
Gotcha. And then
so you can add a lot of those. And then Sharon, it's smart enough to look at, like, you're doing this on the 24th. So if you're doing that year over year and you've selected the 24th, it's going to run on the 24th, whether it's a leap year or not.
Yeah. Rich.
Can the holidays, birthdays, etc., also trigger a thanks.io card?
Yeah. You would just need to use Zapier to send it over. There's not a direct integration, but that can be done. Yeah. Thanks. Rich has its own holiday thing too, so you could just zap the new lead into thanks.io and do that too. Cool.
I think we've got pretty much all the questions and.
Yeah. What did everybody think of this session? You know, it is the first one in the series. I kind of like the format. We'll go over something new for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then again, we can do this kind of free-form Q&A. I'll get better about being slower and scrolling less. I do apologize for that. But yeah, I think there's 2 things accomplished here. You know, one, you get to see the new functionality, but I think by hearing other people's suggestions and questions, you'll learn more things about the system. So it's kind of worthwhile endeavor to spend a little time with us here.
Darlene said it was a fire hose.
Yeah, so for those of you who feel lost, we're seeing some of those comments. So this is going to skew a little bit toward a little unstructured after we get over the basic functionality. Starting next Monday, so November 1st, our training calendar, you're going to find that there's a weekly quick start basics series that happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday every week that basically gives you a quick start on KV Core and gives you the basics. So just watch the calendar here. Those sessions happen at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we're also going to have an Inside Real Estate Open office hours Q&A at 4 p.m. East, 1 p.m. Pacific, those 4 days, Monday through Thursday. So for those of you who want the basics, those 2 sessions are there. There'll be a trainer on. There shouldn't be a ton of attendance. So from time to time, they can probably even open up the phone lines and you can talk to them. And then you're also going to find things like today on the calendar where maybe it's a little more advanced. We have next level stuff and maybe we're geeking out with some product guys like today.
Can you show how to get to that calendar one more time, Ryan?
Absolutely, yep.
Thank you.
So you'll click View Training Calendar right here up at the top right of your dashboard. For some of you, you may be noticing, I don't know if this is totally live, you may be noticing a new support and training option right here that we're rolling out. And you can actually click Webinar Schedule there. Susan, I don't know if you saw this, but we got it separated by time zone.
Oh, nice.
So
That's
watch
awesome.
out. Yeah, currently, if you go to the calendar, you have to watch out. A lot of the times they're going to be Eastern. That's not an us thing. It's like Google's limitations with their calendar. So I built this page where it kind of separates them out.
That's really awesome.
It's big for us internally because we get a lot of questions around that. So yeah. Yep. But definitely check it out. If you do have this new menu, going into next week and moving forward, you also see a nice library of all our trainings. It's still being built out, but it'll be kind of separated here and take you straight into the courses that have been in our learning portal. So we basically built a better menu for the learning portal and make things more accessible. Anything else from Xander, from you? We're at an hour here.
No, I appreciate everybody's feedback. It's always helpful to hear from agents who are using the system every day and hear how it can be improved. It's the best way we can get helpful feedback and get better products into your hands.
Great. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Xander. This session, you guys are already registered for next week's session. You'll just get a reminder from Zoom every Wednesday at 3. If you can't attend, don't worry. As you know, we're just posting these to YouTube, so you can always catch us on the replay. All right. Thanks, guys.